In today's video, I want to give you guys an update on Assassin's Creed Ragnarok, the rumored Assassin's Creed title that'll be a cross-generation title on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, and we have some information coming out about that game that sounds absolutely insane, so we'll go over that. Also, No Man's Sky's next major update has already launched, and it's a major update, and I want to go over everything that entails. We'll talk that at the end of this video, but first up, here's something that I really want to talk about, and that's the next Assassin's Creed title. Now, if you guys know me, you know that I'm a big fan of the Assassin's Creed game, although I might be in the minority in that I actually preferred Assassin's Creed prior to the shift in this, more RPG, super big open world style that Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey brought. I didn't hate those games at all. However, there's something that I am a little bit more fond of the original style of Assassin's Creed games. Whatever the case may be, I think the majority of you guys are into the newer games, and that is where our next game comes in, and that is Assassin's Creed Ragnarok. Now, that's interesting because 2019 was an off year for the Assassin's Creed franchise, and the last time the Assassin's Creed franchise took an off year was in 2016. After that, they came back in 2017 with Origins, and Origins produced what many would consider to be one of the best Assassin's Creed games in the franchise. I don't think that's too much of a stretch in saying that, so that begs very good things for Assassin's Creed Ragnarok if this is the game that is to come out in late 2020. And Ubisoft hasn't officially disclosed the next Assassin's Creed, but rumors are starting to crop up again, this time talking about Assassin's Creed Ragnarok. Some alleged details for the game were shared online coming off from a Reddit post. This talked about the next Assassin's Creed being codenamed as Kingdom, that was later changed to Ragnarok. It'll be released on both current and next generation platforms, and it was also hinted that the game is being planned for a reveal during a PlayStation event in February 2020. Now, I actually don't recall when Assassin's Creed 4 was revealed, but I believe it was around the same time, February of 2013, right ahead of the release of the PlayStation 4, and of course AC4 did end up being a cross-generation title as well. It came out at like the end of October on PlayStation 3, and then they came back and released it on the PlayStation 4 as well when the PlayStation 4 came out in November, so that makes a lot of sense. It was noted that the world map would include Scandinavia and a big part of England, including London and Plymouth. Just like Odyssey, there would be a choice of picking between a male or female protagonist, but that won't have any major impact on the story. The main character is named Yora and would become an assassin during the main story. One of the returning gameplay elements is Brotherhood, and there will be recruitable NPCs. There is a boat to travel on the sea, but a possible lack of naval combat. It is basically a revenge quest-centered story, and players will be able to visit realms like Asgard and Jotunheim and meet mythical gods, Odin or Loki, who will also play a big role in the story. There will be a modern-day storyline as well, and the gameplay mechanics improved with further RPG elements. In another rumor that was posted by another source to 4chan, it was revealed that Assassin's Creed Ragnarok world map size would be twice of that was present in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It was also noted to have all of Northern Europe and a huge emphasis on boats and cities, and players can explore and launch raids. Every city will offer a unique look and feel diverse. In another rumor that was posted by another source to 4chan, and this one I'm a little bit more skeptical on, it was noted that Assassin's Creed Ragnarok's world map size will be twice of that was present in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Now, that is a little bit hard to believe because Assassin's Creed Odyssey, if you guys played it, you know that it's an absolutely enormous game. Some might even say it's one of those open world games that it's like, alright, chill out a little bit, this is a little bit too big. I don't think the majority of people are going to complain about something like that. I mean, that does completely sound like first world problems, but for somebody like me, I do like my games to be a little bit more streamlined than what was in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Look, I'm all for open worlds, I love exploration and everything like that. AC Odyssey to me was just a little bit too enormous, and twice the size of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. At that point, I just think we're getting these games to be a little bit ridiculous, because at some point, making bigger and bigger worlds, yes, it's very cool, but it's gonna offer diminishing returns, especially if we're talking about a game that is ultimately gonna be released on the PlayStation 4. There are gonna be limitations there if you're trying to make an open world twice the size of Odyssey, and I'm a little bit skeptical as far as that rumor goes. Is it gonna be bigger than Odyssey? I'm sure it's gonna be bigger. If we're talking twice the size of Odyssey, that gets a little bit ridiculous, and I don't even know if I want something like that. Again, at some point, I do think it's the point of diminishing returns, and I think if we're increasing the next Assassin's Creed's world size by that much, that would far past that point. I would much rather something like what CD Projekt Red is doing with Cyberpunk 2077, where that game is going to be similar in size to The Witcher 3. However, the idea is to make it a more denser, a more alive world. I would much prefer that. I would much prefer a smaller open world, however, make each little bit of that world really count. At some point, it is just going to be a barren wasteland if these open world games just get bigger and bigger. There's no possible way you can make these games this enormous and still retain a quality level with each piece of content. I mean, with a lot of the content in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I did find it to get a little bit redundant, and if we're just shoehorning in a ton of content to just say, oh, this game has over X amount of hours of gameplay, oh, this game is this big, whatever the case may be, yes, those are cool buzzwords that are gonna make the game very easy to market, but ultimately, what does that mean for the game quality itself? And if Assassin's Creed Ragnarok were to be this big, I do think that would be more of a hindrance on the game rather than actually a beneficiary. Whatever the case may be, I think people would be all over it. I think if Assassin's Creed Ragnarok is even, let's say, 30% bigger than Assassin's Creed Odyssey, at that point the world would be enormous. If you guys have yet to play AC Odyssey, again, you guys might think that I'm going a little bit too over the top explaining the world size, but that game's open world was just massive, and going even bigger, even if it's 20 to 30%, man, at some point, again, it's gonna be diminishing returns, and I think we're nearing that point. Whatever the case may be, I'm very much excited for Assassin's Creed Ragnarok. I've said the same thing about Origins and Odyssey over and over again. I wish there was a way we could create these games and make it a little bit less grindy. I was actually talking to a friend recently about Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and he told me that he caved in and he bought the double XP boost, so there are clearly people buying the double XP boost that is present. So I think they're going to retain that same level of grindiness and wanting you to do a lot of the side content if you do want to progress through the main story. For a lot of people that want to play these games a little bit at a faster pace, not even putting it at the easy difficulty is going to make you able to do that. I hope some things are altered in Assassin's Creed Ragnarok, because I really wasn't a big fan of that in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Whatever the case may be, this is going to be a major release for the PlayStation 5, and as a launch title, it is going to be one of the heavy hitters, and of course, it probably will release on the PlayStation 4, but you would have to think that, especially on the base console, there would be some limitations with a game like AC Ragnarok on the PS4 versus, say, the PS5 or even the PS4 Pro, as you already see those limitations start to creep in with games like Assassin's Creed Origins and Assassin's Creed Odyssey on the base PS4. Alright, with that out of the way, I do also want to quickly go over No Man's Sky's synthesis update, as it is quite big. This launched yesterday, and it is another major update for No Man's Sky. Hello Games has remained incredibly committed to NMS, and with synthesis, it is introducing a lot of new features. First of all, it notes the synthesis update introduces a number of frequently requested features and improvements to No Man's Sky Beyond. Alongside these new features are a large number of community-led quality of life improvements as well as general polish. It notes starship upgrades, starship salvaging, new terrain editing system, protected terrain edits, save custom outfits, first-person exocraft, new features enabled in VR, and I do want to highlight this. Features have been unified across VR and non-VR. Photo mode and creature riding are now available in all versions of the game, so that's very nice. You've got Space Map. The Starship Space Map has been overhauled, improving the quality and clarity of the visuals. Quality of life improvements, many frequently used interactions and interfaces have been sped up, and access to many features has been streamlined. Improvements include instant access to the Galactic Trade Terminal, purchasing planetary charts from the full shop UI rather than a dialogue interaction, increasing the speed of the pulse drive and the riding of creatures that have been fed only basic bait, inventory management, new technologies, new base parts, discovery page additions, bug fixes and polish, base building improvements, more storage, personal refiner, own multiple multi-tools, and much more. It's actually pretty ridiculous how many updates they're rolling out, and synthesis wasn't really an update that was heavily promoted, so kind of surprising on that end as well. This is promoted as update 2.2, so it's not like, from a numerical standpoint, it's even one of the, flagship updates like a No Man's Sky Beyond was, but synthesis is still a major update, and cool to see No Man's Sky continue to evolve. I do believe this is one of the games on sale on the PlayStation Store right now, so that's something to note as well if you're eager to check it out. And that's going to conclude this video. Again, Assassin's Creed Ragnarok is shaping shaping up to be a massive game for the PlayStation 5, quite in the literal sense, as well as the game itself is going to be enormous from a world size standpoint. Even if it's not twice as big as AC Odyssey, I think it's a foregone conclusion that it will be bigger. And that is a little bit scary to me. And No Man's Sky Synthesis update has launched. It's a major update, and it includes a lot of fixes and refinements. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.